Hi guys, Odin Hill here with easygrade Pro 4.1 tutorials. This is our first installment and it covers seating. Let's look at the objectives for this lesson. In this lesson we're going to cover choosing a font size, selecting seats, arranging seats, adding furniture, coloring, entering attendance, entering grades, sorting, and printing your seating charts. So let's get started. When easygrade Pro 4.1 imports students, it usually just lumps the seats in one big blob like this in the center. First thing we want to do for this tutorial is make these seats and the font bigger so you can actually see what's going on. So we'll do that in gradebook options. And we're going to change the font size to maximum so you can really see it in the video here. Okay, so now it's a little bit more visible. Let's go ahead and break these seats up into groups of 2, and then we'll make 2 rows. This will be a good way of showing you and familiarizing you with the selection tool. The selection tool is a little different. You can see when I hover over the seats, we don't get a hand drag tool. So we actually have to drag to select. So I'm going to go ahead and select this whole front row here. Once you've selected the front row, then you can manipulate it wherever you want in the classroom. And I'll go ahead and do the same for this. And you can see seating, easygrade Pro also snaps these so that they align up well. You can see the alignment there, which is a helpful feature. If you're trying to get the class to your arrangement to look neat, then you probably will utilize that. So within seating, we also want to talk about how to swap seats out. So let's say I want to swap this student spot with this student. So I just drag and cover the other student's seat, and now the 2 students' seats are swapped out, as you can see here. We can even do that with an entire group or row of students. If we feel like moving their seats, it's as simple as that. Let's look at adding furniture. So here under Seat Tools, we can go ahead and add furniture. This is a handy feature. It allows us to drag out a demonstration desk, for instance. We can even color this if we'd like. And there's other options. We can rotate it and so on. If you don't want rectangular furniture, you can go ahead and change that to circular furniture. And you can see here there's a little notch in the circle that allows you to change the circle size. We can make it bigger or smaller, up to you. I'm going to go ahead and delete that just by selecting it and hitting delete. Alright, another handy feature that I use within seating is changing the color of the seats. Simply by double clicking on a seat, you can change the color. I do this a lot to delineate between boys and girls in the classroom. So I'll maybe make the boys yellow and the girls green or something like that. That way I can move the seats around, and just by visually inspecting I can see that we have a nice mix between the boys and the girls in the classroom. For some grade levels that's more important than others. Alright, you can see here I've gone ahead and changed all the seat colors. Boys are green, girls are yellow. Another great feature within seating is being able to enter attendance in the seating chart. That allows you to look out in the room and see who's missing. The attendance drop down tab is right there, so you have all of these various choices from unexcused absences and excused absences to tardies that are excused or unexcused, as well as school absences, which might include field trips and things of that nature. By default, the day that you're entering attendance is for today. If you want to enter attendance for a different day, you can look down here and you can see the date. By clicking on the plus or the minus, you can advance or reverse the day. So here we would be entering attendance for yesterday. And you can change that back down here, back to today. The next feature we want to discuss is entering grades directly onto the seating chart. This has many uses. If you're walking around the classroom doing formative assessments, you might actually enter grades onto a seating chart. and then enter them into the gradebook later. This works really well when you're not that familiar with student names, but you know where they sit. Your choice to enter assignment grades is down here as well, and you can see my first assignment is called demo assignment. When I've selected this, I can go ahead and enter the grade in here. So since demo assignment's selected, I can enter an A grade, say for this student, and maybe a B grade for that student. And now that grade is entered directly in there. If we go over to the score chart, you'll see that those scores have found their way to the gradebook now. Perhaps one of the handiest features in easygrade Pro seating is the sorting of seats. I like to do that often to have students work with different students. The way you do that is to go into View, Sort Seats. A lot of times I choose randomly so that students don't think I'm choosing favorites or having any biases. The option is moving student seats using a zigzag function. If you move student seats every couple of weeks, eventually using this pattern 1 or pattern 2, every student would at one point get a front row seat. The final feature I want to discuss is printing your seating charts, and there's a few options there. You go ahead and hit the print icon there, and your print dialog box will pop up. You have a few options here. You'd want to choose seating chart and the class that you're interested in printing the seating chart for. And then if they're not fitting within this format, there are some additional options. You can go ahead and change the font, which will allow more seats to fit in. Or you could actually go into page setup down here at the bottom and print it in a different orientation, like landscape or portrait. So that covers the seating portion of the easygrade Pro tutorials. And just in review, we covered choosing a font size, selecting seats, arranging seats, adding furniture, coloring the seats, entering attendance, entering grades, sorting seats, and printing seating charts. I hope that was helpful, and look forward to seeing you in the other tutorial installments.